Hi, you're listening to Survival Talk Radio with me, your host, Dan Shrigley. Come and learn survival. Are you a fan of survival? Do you like all things survival? Full spectrum survival, urban survival, wilderness survival, how to escape and evade, lost or stranded, doomsday prepper, all things survival you can find on www.danielshrigley.com. Come visit my official survival website at www.danielshrigley.com and learn how to sustain, survive, and escape and achieve rescue or self-rescue. Proficient Protection Agency is based out of Alameda, California. If you have security service needs, Proficient Protection Agency can provide armed and unarmed security services. They service Northern California Bay Area, and you can find them at www.ppasecurity.com. If you want to advertise your company on Survival Talk Radio, just send me an email to daniel@danielshrigley.com, and we can make arrangements to advertise you or your business on Survival Talk Radio.
Survive this.
Settle down. Oh, I love my fake fans. I call those my fake fans. Whenever I need to be cheered up, I just press the button and I get a bunch of cheers. Kind of like this. Fake fans. Isn't that great? It just cheers you up, doesn't it? Well, we're going to have to calm these folks down. Calm down. All right. So, anyways, aside of my sense of humor, hey, welcome to the show, Survival Talk Radio with me, your host, Dan Shrigley. Yay, Dan Shrigley, America's Survival Son. So anyway, Bruce Willis, man, can you believe that? Oh, I feel so bad for him, you know. Jack Nicholson got dementia. The same thing happened to Sean Connery. He got dementia, but this isn't dementia. This is aphasia. And I looked into what it is, and my understanding, my layman's understanding, because I read about it and watched a couple videos about it. And so what it is they lose the ability to, I guess, comprehend and understand language. So they're still intelligent. They don't lose their intelligence. They can still think and do stuff, but when it comes to language, like verbal or maybe written, they start losing their cognitive ability. And so it's hard on the individual naturally because they're suffering through it. But it also is hard on the people around them, the ones that are caretaking for them and interacting with them. They have to have a lot of patience. And I know I'm certain that Bruce is surrounded by family that just loves him, appreciates the life that he built for them as a family, and so no doubt about that. But it's got to be hard on them too. You know what I mean? I guess rumors are going around a little bit. Not bad rumors, but just rumors where on the movie set, his cognitive ability was kind of being noticed in a way. And I guess it just has gotten to the point where his family had to kind of step in and play guardian for him. And so I'm sure he'll be in good hands with them. And a good thing is he's not stupid. He's just has this developed language challenge, and they're gonna have to use hand signs to kind of signal things, kind of like sign language, but to carry a point home, doing a lot of pointing and things like that. I can only imagine, I only know just a little bit from what I read and the video I watched about it, and it just seems like a really sad turn of events for the guy. I really liked him. He made good movies. I watched him growing up, as a child. I remember watching the TV show Moonlighting with Sybil Shepherd and Bruce Willis, and then after Moonlighting is when he did Die Hard, and everybody loved Die Hard. He really broke out into that action role. So, man, I'm really glad that Sylvester Stallone had the forethought, to put all these aging action stars into the Expendables series, giving them a chance. Because some of them, that's going to be the last action movie they ever do, Look at Bruce Willis, and yeah, they're all getting old, and Sylvester Stallone saw that, realized that, and thought, wouldn't it be cool to just take everybody's favorite 80s and 90s action star and just put them in a movie together? So it's pretty neat. I think some people should be grateful to Sylvester Stallone for doing that. And Sylvester Stallone, he's taking it a little personal too by his buddy Bruce. They worked together off and on throughout the years and got pretty close and were friends. And I really respect Sylvester Stallone, and the thought that he's taking it a little hard about his buddy. He posted about it too. So, I know it's Hollywood, all right? And I know some people are like, screw Hollywood, but, when you sit there and you watch a movie, you're not saying screw Hollywood. You want to be entertained, and, you could always count on being entertained by people like Bruce Willis, Sylvester Stallone, even though I don't like Arnold Schwarzenegger's politics, but, even his movies, there's a lot of actors I don't really like their politics, but I actually do enjoy watching their movies. They're quite entertaining. Some are funny, some are, cool, but, it's like Dwayne Johnson. I don't like his politics, but I do like watching him in movies and stuff. They're all talented, and ultimately everybody's entitled to their the beliefs, and and that's why I served in the military, with the thought of defending people's freedoms, and their constitutional rights to have the ability to have those choices, and whether I agree with them or not is irrelevant. To be really truthful and honest about it, I fought for you to have the right to have a political belief or a religious belief, and I would put my life on the line for a lie in Iraq. There was no weapons of mass destruction, but, George W. Bush lied about that and made us all go over there. He should have just stuck with Afghanistan, in my opinion, because we had every reason to go there. We were attacked by the Taliban, but we had really no business in Iraq other than, a Texas oil tycoon wanted to have control of oil. And, I don't know, man. It's just politics. It's ugly. Speaking of politics, I guess Hunter Biden, it's coming out, so CNN is admitted that they lied to America for 2 years or a year before the election, and ever since President Biden's been in office, about the Hunter Biden laptop. And, so CNN is just, the leftist media in general is just basically admitted that they were covering up and lying about it because they had to admit that it is true. What's in it is true. So what's that say about Hunter Biden? And if Hunter Biden's ship sinks, so does someone else's. And I think the secret government is planning on something. I think that they know Joe Biden is just making too many gaffes. He's almost uncontrollable. He said something about Putin shouldn't be in power. And then the White House had to run and go, the staff had to run and go put a Band-Aid on it. And then he turned around and said the same exact thing again after that. And so they had to hurry up and run and go put a Band-Aid on that again. And now they got him reading from cue cards. And I was actually going to do a separate show than this one, because this one's supposed to be about Bruce Willis. And I'll get back on to the Bruce Willis topics. So we have a president that can't be trusted around an open mic. He has to have a script. So what you have to ask yourself is, who's writing that script for him? Who's writing the questions that are going to be asked and what his responses are going to be? And he's supposed to stay on script. That's the person that's running the country. Whoever's writing those cue cards. All right? And that's scary, because we don't know who's writing those cue cards. We don't know who truly is running our country right now. It's not Joe Biden. It's not. Anyway, back to Bruce Willis. Man, I'm going to miss seeing his films. I already miss Sean Connery, I'll tell you that much. And you know who else is getting up there in age? Patrick Stewart, obviously. He's been getting up there in age for quite a while. But Harrison Ford, he's getting up there. Mark Hamill's getting up there, too. Man, it's crazy to think we can see them. They have a new Luke Skywalker, a little kid going to play Luke Skywalker. And Mark Hamill said, I wish you luck, little buddy. Because obviously, I think Mark Hamill's just done with the whole Star Wars thing. And I don't blame him, man. You've been playing the same role all your life. And granted, the role has built him, in a state. He's got a nice life because of it, But he sure was typecasted. And thank God he was able to break out of that and do some other stuff, like Joker, the voice of Joker. But, people like Jack Nicholson, we're never going to see him act in a movie again, and even Denzel Washington's getting up there. Hopefully he still does some movie acting. All our heroes, they're all getting old, and, Betty White's gone, I wasn't really a big Betty White fan myself, but a lot of people were, and I, appreciate those people, we all losing people, it's just a fact of life. It's how it goes down. But if you think about it, in the last 15 years, we have lost a lot of Hollywood super heavyweight names, Even Tom Cruise is getting up there in age, He's trying to knock out as many action movies as he can. I think he's worth about $800 million, personally, right now. So I think he's going to get a big bump in his income as soon as Top Gun Maverick pops out, because people were waiting 35, 36 years. I think that movie came out in it was either 1984 or 1986, Top Gun. I remember being a little kid, and man, I watched that movie, and I was sprung on being a fighter pilot. My heart was set. That was exactly what I wanted to grow up and be, was a fighter pilot. And I didn't really care what branch. I just wanted to fly planes. If it was the Navy, the Air Force, it didn't matter. But I knew I wanted to fly until I realized I stopped growing, and that I needed to wear glasses. And you have to have back in those days, you had to have perfect vision, uncorrected vision, and have like 20/20 vision, and for good reason. Now I think that you can have LASIK, and then you have to wait like 6 months to a year, and then you can, constitute having perfect vision. But that doesn't help my height, because I'm only 5'4", so I'm not tall enough maybe, but either way. But I love that movie, Top Gun, so I'm really looking forward to this new one coming out, and I'm hoping they have some great soundtracks like they did back in the day. Obviously, those music soundtracks, I don't know, they still get me going. I like Mighty Wings and Top Gun anthem and stuff like that. But hopefully they're able to come out with some good soundtracks for the movie and stuff like that. Yeah, Bruce Willis, man, that's hard, man. That's a hard one right there. He's gonna be missed, man. And it's not like he's dead, but he's retired, and you're not gonna see too much of him, out and about. I think his family's gonna protect him, and I think he's gonna be right where he needs to be with his family, and that's what we should all aspire to be. You know what I mean? Like Bruce right now. He lived his life. He worked hard. He made his movies. He made his money. But he did that. He made his name out there. He put his neck out there, got discovered, practiced his acting craft, did his stunt work that he needed to do. I don't know if he did all his own stunts, but I'm sure he did some of them. Or if not, maybe most of them. But, but he did the work. He showed up on set. He was in character. They call them the Hollywood elites. Well, they have the big tech elites, they have the medical community elites, the big pharma elites, the political elites. So, being called an elite, it shouldn't be an insult. It just means you're at your top of your game. But some people say it in a meaning way that they're implying that it's an insult when they say it. Yeah, I can understand the points of view on that, but you got to remember those people were on set for like 16 hours each day, like Kurt Russell in the movie Tombstone. Tombstone would not even have been made without Kurt Russell, all right, because the director died, all right. And so Kurt Russell not only had to do the acting, but he really had to manage the set and the cast and get things going. And if it wasn't for Kurt Russell holding that project together, we would have never enjoyed Tombstone. We would have never enjoyed Val Kilmer's character, playing Doc Holliday. So, these actors, they have lavish lifestyles and stuff like that, but you could easily go start an acting career. You can start an acting profile. It's so easy. It sounds hard, but it's not hard if you're willing to put the work in. What it takes is consistency. All right. You know, so getting a social media profile, promoting your name or your stage name, you know, and getting your professional headshots, doing your acting clips. You know, they have companies right now that will help you put your acting clip together professionally, and it's not really that expensive. But you could do your own acting clips, you know, get a script, read from it, you know, upload it onto your YouTube channel, upload it to your vanity website. You know, if your name is Adam Smith, then go start adamsmith.com, you know, or .net or whatever, or whatever, you know, you want to call your website, but it should be named after you. And then upload your professional headshots on there. Write a little bio about yourself. You don't need a big website, but you put a landing page on there. Have a page with your acting reels on there, and do a bunch of different characters and stuff. You know, if you are a person that can do voice impressions, then do some voice sounds, you know, impressions of you on camera, doing different impressions. I can do voice impressions, you know. You know, I can mimic characters and stuff like that, and I'm pretty damn good at it, actually. I think at one time I counted them. At one time, I was able to come up with over 60 different voice characters that I can do, which is a lot, you know, and then I'll forget who I can do. That's the problem, is I'll do an impression, and then I forget I can even do it, and then one day I'll hear a voice and mimic it, you know. I'm like, oh, I forgot I could do that guy or that character. But so getting into Hollywood, if that's what you want to do, it's easy. There's a lot of ways you can get discovered into Hollywood. They have every year they have you know, open casting calls and internet websites where you submit your acting reel, and you can get discovered off of that and get offered big movie roles. You know, it's not hard to do. It really just takes consistency. Go start you a Twitter account and just put acting stuff on there only, and reach out. And then the key thing to do is, once you get your little acting stuff up there and you post about acting, and you use the appropriate hashtags, and you start following other people, acting coaches, producers, directors, all right? You know, they're easy to find because you just use hashtag or search bar, all right? And then you follow them on Twitter, follow them on all the social media sites, all right? Follow them on all the major ones, all right? And, you know, especially on Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter, those are where you're going to find the actors, all right? The big ones. You'll find a few of them on Instagram. You'll find a few of them on some of the other websites that are out there. But key thing is having your vanity website, joining into some acting things. It won't hurt you to take an acting class. They're not that expensive. They don't last forever. You know, take a couple weeks of an acting class, but you'll network there. You'll meet some other people with the same aspirations as you, and then you know, and that's called networking, and that's how you're gonna land roles. You know, a lot of actors get introduced to people. It's just like I'm friends with Wendy Starlin. All right, Wendy Starlin. If you don't know who she is, she's a lovely person. All right, she's a model, like a professional model. She looks like a Charlie's Angel, but that's an old TV show for some of you. You might not even know who Charlie's Angels is, but she looks like a Charlie's Angel. But she is the person that discovered Lady Gaga and produced her, developed her, and if it wasn't for Wendy Starlin, you know, Lady Gaga wouldn't have been discovered. So, you know what I mean? So, You can look up Wendy Starlin on Facebook. She's on my friends list. She follows me on. I know she follows me on my Facebook private account, and I know she follows me on my Instagram account. But she's my personal friend, and she does a lot of good things for humanity. She does a lot of things to help other people out that are less fortunate and stuff like that. Great person, travels the country, travels the world. I think recently she was in Paris, France, and then Dubai. She travels around a lot. She's a producer, and she's got her own thing going on. So, but you meet friends like that is the point, and friends like that have connections. All right, and I could write her a thing saying, "Hey, Wendy, I'm really looking to get into a movie role for a person that fits my profile bio. And if you see anything, know anybody, get me a foot in the door. I need another movie credit, with speaking lines on it, and then she can't guarantee me a role, but she can guarantee me, an introduction at least, and it's up to me to take it to the next level with that individual. But at least I have the introduction. And sometimes that's all you need in life is an introduction. And if you're really serious about it, you'll run with it. But I'll tell you what, never bite the hand that feeds you, ever. Especially in business, all right? Never bite the hand that feeds you. Always give back to the people that help you. And realize you did not get there alone. People helped you get there. Whether it was one person or a group of people. Someone helped you get there. There's no way you get there alone. And you got to be humble when it comes to that. And it's always better for you to give praise out. And unless you're a fighter and you're the only one in the ring fighting for yourself, the only person you really got to thank is your trainer and your manager, your promoter. And that's about 3 people. And maybe your sparring partner, maybe a 4th person. But, Conor McGregor, he's going to thank Dana White and then his trainer and his manager and his promoter and his sparring partners, But aside of that, he doesn't really owe a lot of gratitude to a whole bunch of people because it's him doing the work. Him getting beat up, him doing the beating up, him taking the punches or giving the punches or the kicks or the elbows or whatever, the shoulder punch or whatever, which I thought was pretty cool when he showed off the shoulder punch. I never seen it until he did that, the shoulder punch. I don't even know if Bruce Lee knows about the shoulder punch before he died. But I thought that was cool. So we have, Bruce Willis, I'll probably have to binge watch his movies because I really like him. He's not the greatest actor, but he's an awesome, tough guy. Do you know what I mean? Like, all right, Johnny Depp is a great actor because he can invent a personality and then dive into it and bring it to life. Bruce Willis is just playing Bruce Willis in every movie. Dwayne Johnson is just playing Dwayne Johnson in every movie. He's not a great acting talent, but he can memorize his lines, and all he has to do is just play himself in all his movies, because that's what people are there to see. Just like Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds, he doesn't really play other characters. He's just playing himself because he's naturally just sarcastic. You know what I mean? That's why he was so good for Deadpool. But if you watch Deadpool and then you watch Van Wilder, it's the same character. It's Ryan Reynolds. So even in the movie I did, I wasn't being a different character. I was playing myself in the movie, so much so that my character's name was Daniel Shrigley and my screen credit is Self. So, but I was acting, saying lines, off of my sides. I was, memorizing my sides or my lines or whatever you want to call it. And then reading, doing the script on camera. And I wouldn't say I was the greatest actor. It's my first time, But the director and everybody else said, "Hey, man, that was good. You did a good job." And I was like, "Wow, that really was kind of easy." It's all I credited being able to do the lines in the movie and with memorizing everything I had to memorize to pass my promotion board as staff sergeant. That I did pass, and the command sergeant major said, "You're good to go, Staff Sergeant Shrigley. You just get the points and we'll pin it on you." And so, that's a lot of information and have to memorize. Memorizing the entire the Soldier's Creed, the NCO's Creed. Creed of the non-commissioned officer. No one's more professional than I. I'm a non-commissioned officer, known as the backbone of the Army. It's something that you'll never forget. All right, and because you study it and you know it, and you know it on command. It's like I don't even think you could brain dump it. It's like everything. So, oh man, Does Bruce Willis have any siblings or children that are into acting? Are we going to see? Does he have any sons that have ventured into the world of acting, or is he the only family member that's an actor? I'd like to know that one. I'll have to check into that. I know Will Smith is taking some heat right now. That guy, he tried for his whole career to be an example, a role model. He really did try. And he's done a lot of good things for a lot of people. And whatever happened got into his mind. He screwed up. But everybody screws up in their life, man. There's no need to cut off the man's genitals over it. You know what I mean? Chris Rock's not pressing charges. He hasn't mentioned that he's going to sue him or anything like that. If anything, the slap across the face helped Chris Rock make a bunch of money on his concert or his comedy show that he had scheduled. It sold out, and he was like, people were buying seats for $1,000 a pop. And so, if anything, that being slapped in the face just put more money into Chris Rock's pocket. Some people said they loved the show. Some people said they want their money back. I don't know what they were expecting. He wasn't going to spend the whole show talking about being slapped by, Will Smith. But, these Hollywood types, they're people like us. They're people like us. We're people. They're people like us. All right. They're not elite. All right. They just make a lot of money. They get a lot of fame. And every time they make a mistake, everybody sees it. And some of them are rich enough and connected enough that they can get their mistakes covered, kind of like Hunter Biden. But you owe somebody somewhere. You always owe somebody a favor somewhere. And I don't know. It's just like, it's an ugly world living worldly. It's better to walk with Jesus Christ. It's a lot more pleasant. It's a lot more happiness. Of course we all want to live in a nice home. We all want to have nice cars. We all want to have fun hobbies. We all want to travel. We all want the best. We all want to be looked up to by other people. But at some point, you have to say, okay, I don't want to be worshipped by anybody. There's only one person deserving of worship, and that's God and Jesus Christ and God the Holy Spirit. So, that's it, man. There's only one that needs to be praised and worshiped. We are nothing. We are not even a speck of sand in the scope of the world. we're nothing. Will Smith's been famous his whole life, which means if you're 50 years old, Will Smith's been famous most of all your life. But 50 years from now, no one's even going to know who you are or who he is, because you'll be gone. And it's all going to be about who's famous 50 years from now. How many celebrities can you name off from 1910, 1920, 1930, 1940? How many? Think about it. Not all of them are forgotten. But most of those big-time celebrities, they're already forgotten. Can you name all the names of the Three Stooges? The original Three Stooges? Some people can. Most people can't. Most people today that were born 20 years ago, in the year 2000, they've never used a payphone in their life, and they've never dialed a rotary phone. They might not even know how to use it at first. They have to figure it out. And they don't even know how to switch lines. Remember how the rotary phone, you would dial the number with the big disc, and then you'd be on a phone call, and then you'll hear a beep, beep, and that means someone's calling in on the other line, and you have to hit the hang up button twice, and then it'll go to the other line, and the other person's on hold. And I think if you hit it 3 times, it puts both together, and you can have a conference call. Remember that? You wouldn't know about it unless you lived through it. Yeah, I bet you didn't know that. You know, you remember Windows 95 dialing up? Ding, 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 that noise it made. Windows 95 with America Online and that modem sound. And then they came out with DSL, and it was faster because dial-up was so slow. You could actually download stuff quicker. And then they went from DSL to cable, and then went from cable to wireless, and then the iPhone came out, and then they started making it so you can actually download, and it was LTC, and then it went to 3G network, then 4G network, and now we're on 5G network, and now everything's fast. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy how movies regurgitate themselves. How you can look at one movie and be like, damn, that movie sure seems a lot like Star Wars, but just a different script. It's kind of weird. Like, what was the name of that one movie? Oh, I'm not going to remember the name of it, too. But they totally stole the Star Wars script. They stole the Lord of the Rings script. They stole parts of different movies to make this movie, and they used the script for the storyline itself. And so they patched it from different famous movies. And it was the one where this dude gets into a machine, and then he controls a drone alien, and but I can't remember the name of the movie, but he's all blue, and it was a pretty decent movie until I realized that it was stolen from every other movie. It's crazy. So if you want to make a Hollywood hit movie, write a script, go find a really good movie script from 5 movies, tie the scripts together, but write a unique you're using the storyline, but you're using different characters in a different time and a different setting, a different environment, but you're using the same storyline. And if you borrow, it's kind of like making music, how there's only really 4 major chords to any pop song. Well, you could do the same with movies. And as long as you change it around enough, you can go ahead and make a motion picture movie. It'll probably be a blockbuster. So, but if you want to get into acting and you want to be the next Bruce Willis, then do it. I did a movie. I wasn't the heavy star in it because it was my first one, but I was the main star in a Discovery Channel survival TV series, Top Cast. You look that up on IMDb, Top Cast. But it really doesn't mean nothing. You know what else doesn't mean nothing? All my military awards that I received while in the Army. Not one of those awards, not one of those medals. I have 28 permanent awards and decorations in my uniform, but not one of them has paid for a meal. Not one of them has bought me a brand new car, and not one of them has bought me a house. Now, VA is a benefit that I have, and I'm going to, between my lady and I, we're going to, as a couple, buy a house using my VA benefit to get into it. But my medals, they didn't buy me nothing. My NCOERs, my annual non-commissioned officer reviews, no civilian employer ever asked to see them. And I used to live for my NCOERs to be perfect. Even when I knew I only had a couple years left and I was getting out, I still wanted to be perfect. But no one ever asked to see him. No one's looking at him. The only thing they ask about is your DD-214. And half the civilians that looking at a DD-214 don't even understand what they're looking at. Most of them don't even know what they're looking at. All they see is honorable discharge and a bunch of accomplishments. And I look like a hero in their eyes when they look at me. All right? So, yeah. But it doesn't really do much for you other than that. What's a good thing that came out of my military service? The service. Knowing that I did something. The skills I learned. Invaluable. The knowledge I picked up. The leadership traits. They still carry with me today, even into the civilian world. Being a effective leader that leads by example, that knows, does, it'll help you be a business owner. Too bad they don't teach business ownership in high school. That it's required learning, that you should know how to form a business, start a business, pay taxes, do payroll. That should be required learning in America. Not LGBTQ plus. All right. Not drag queen story hour. You're not a Nazi, Governor DeSantis, because Ron Perlman said you were. Because you empowered parents to have rights. And parents should have the ultimate say-so. So if Ron Perlman thinks that makes you a Nazi because you think the parents should have the right to decide what their children learn between grades K through 3rd grade, and Ron Perlman has a problem with that, then Ron Perlman is a brainwashed, leftist, progressive tool. He might be a good actor, and I do enjoy watching Hellboy. I do watch a couple of his movies, and I enjoyed watching him acting. But I posted a video to my Twitter directly to Ron Perlman, letting him know in a video what I think about him. And I was cordial. I was a lot more cordial and respectful and professional than he was towards Governor DeSantis of Florida. And you should go check it out. I'm probably the only one that did that. I wouldn't be surprised if he blocked me for doing it, because he's kind of a sissy girl like that, you know. He's got a big jaw though. I can't imagine anybody hitting his jaw. They'd probably break their hand. That guy's got like a jaw, like it looks like it's just solid bone. You know. So if you can't hit him in the jaw and hurt, you can always hit him in the stomach. You know. But he's a big guy. But whether or not, that doesn't give him the right to be a jerk or act like a bully, you know. But so I felt inclined to just tell him, you know, stick to acting, man. Stick to acting. You'll be better at acting. You know, who are you to tell parents they shouldn't have the right to have say-so in what their children learn in school? You know, it should always be the parents' right. It's the benefit of being a parent, you know. We don't need the government raising our children. You know, now some families need help raising their kids. Maybe their children have really severe behavior issues. Maybe they have, you know, challenges, undiagnosed challenges. Maybe they're diagnosed. You know, maybe the family is barely making ends meet. You know, maybe it's a single parent household. You know, there are things where a parent or a family may need assistance, but under no certain terms do parents need to be told that they need to be quiet and the state's going to do what they want to do with their children ages K through 3rd grade. Come on. There's no reason to shove sexuality topics of conversation into the face of a 1st grader or a 2nd grader or a 3rd grader. They're not even worried about that stuff. They don't even think like that. So that tells me that the progressive leftists want explicitly K, 1st grade, 2nd grade, and 3rd grade, because those are the impressionable years where they can manipulate the thoughts of a person and program their mind, and like subliminally. That's what Disneyland likes to do, or Disney network, or Disney, the whole entire company, Disney. Manipulation, you know, and they got busted out about that. So, but back to Bruce Willis. Bruce, I doubt you're going to listen to this episode, but thank you for all the years of service in acting and entertaining, and I really appreciate and liked you as an actor, and I will always like you as an actor, and I wish you the best with you and your family. And you know, I know that what you're battling really challenges you on language. They lose the ability to comprehend what you're saying, is basically. But they're not losing their intelligence. They're still smart. You know, when they're off by themselves thinking, looking at a tree, you know, they understand stuff, but they lose that cognitive communication ability, which is fundamental to function in society. It's almost like you're destined. And he seems, I know he's not young, but he's not an, old geezer, like, 90 years old, like not referring to my superhero actor as like everybody has their superhero actor. My dad's was John Wayne, but mine is Clint Eastwood. And he's like 91, 92 years old now. And still making movies, man. That's incredible. But Bruce is not even that old. I think he's around the same age as Stallone. So his life's going to be completely different now. All right, people. I really appreciate each of you tuning in, listening. I really do. I wish you all the best. Vote Republican. Don't vote for a Democrat. If they're a Democrat, don't vote for them, and don't vote in a rhino. Put a brand new Republican in. Get rid of the rhino. All right, the one that runs on the Republican ticket but always votes with the Democrats. Let's get rid of those guys. Just vote for the diehard Republicans, diehard conservative, all right, and get rid of these idiots that are driving up our inflation, driving up our gas prices, practically causing nuclear war with unprofessional conversations and gaffes at the open mic in the Oval Office, all right, being so politically connected to the news media that your son can do crimes and it gets covered up, and the media is complicit in covering it up, and then they deny it. Called Donald Trump all these bad names and a liar. Called all these people that were telling the truth the whole time that they were liars and that they're puppets and that they're members of a cult and all that stuff, and that they're conspiracy theorists, just to find out that all along the conspiracy theorists were telling the truth. And then you're going to turn around and go vote those liars back in and their buddies back in. All right. CNN needs to go out of business. MSNBC needs to go out of business. All those leftist media networks need to go out of business. And all those Democrat politicians, they all need to be fired and never reelected to public office ever again. All right? Come on. What happened on January 6th? Was that an insurrection or was it a protest? And if you watch the video, the police were ushering those protesters into the Capitol building, opening the door, unlocking the door and opening it for them, ushering them in and waving them with their hand, pointing up the stairs and waving them up the stairs where to go, pointing the way the whole time. And then most of the ones that got arrested did not get charged with insurrection. They got charged with trespass. But if I was the defense attorney, I would argue that it's impossible for my client to trespass because he was an invited guest of Officer so-and-so on the camera right there. And I would have found out who that cop was, and I would say, Officer so-and-so is on camera waving him in, giving him an invitation, not telling him to get out, pointing his finger, get out, turn around, go away, but waving him in, and even telling him go up the stairs and waving him up the stairs, and even walking before them and turning around and pointing which way to go, all right, to where all the offices were like Nancy Pelosi's office. That's the truth of it, all right? And all those charges, they're political prisoners, those people. They're still in jail, all right? Political prisoners for trespassing when they didn't trespass because they were invited guests. They never were given it. They were never admonished for trespassing. They were invited in. Now, not every Capitol Police officer was ushering them in, but there was enough to open some side doors to let those people in, you know? So I think a lot of what you see in politics is staged, just like the slap from Will Smith onto Chris Rock's face. I believe that was staged. Yep. And so that's where I stand. I don't know for a fact it was staged, but I suspect it's staged. A lot of people do. All right. It just looked planned. You know what I mean? So, anyways, have a great weekend coming up. A couple more days, it's going to be a weekend. Go do something with your family. If you have kids, go get a fishing license. Break out the fishing pole or go buy one. If you don't have a fishing pole, go get a Capital One Bass Pro Visa credit card. Buy a fishing pole and a fishing license. Go buy some worms. Go buy some shad. Go buy some chicken liver. And go out to the lake. Pay $6 to park your car there. Pay $6 if you're an adult to fish for the day. And take your kids out and make a memory. Teach them how to fish. And if you don't know, watch a bunch of videos beforehand on how to tie a hook, how to bait your hook, all that stuff. And get out there and learn by doing. All right? That's how you learn. All right? Because we are living in uncertain times. We could be in nuclear war where there will be no semi-trucks driving across America, going from distribution centers to whatever, to stores, dropping stuff off. And you might be reliant on your fishing skills for food because the food in the stores is either too expensive or the store shelves are empty. All right? And you're like, well, how am I going to get food? All right? And I would suggest you go buy a rifle, a shotgun, and a handgun. One of each for every adult in the house. Each of you should have a handgun, a shotgun, and a rifle. Preferably a 30-06. A shotgun, you should have slug and buck shot. Get a 12 gauge. All right? Get a double barrel. All right? And then buy enough ammo to stock that up. All right? And then, you have to do a background check to buy ammo in California. So, and you can only buy so much at one time. And you do have to pay a fee every time they do a background check on you. So you might as well buy, as much as you can, because instead of doing gun control, they do ammo control. It's their little swindly way to sidestep your Second Amendment right. Like, well, you have the right to bear arms. That's fine. Well, it didn't say nothing about ammo. Yeah, that's how the leftists think. All right, so, you could always go on a road trip, drive to Texas. All right, you can go buy a box of ammo at the counter. They don't do background checks on ammo in Texas. You can go buy a box of ammo and then take it with you. You know what I mean? It's not illegal to have ammo in the trunk of your car. Okay? It's only requires a background check if you buy ammo within the state of California. All right? But anyway, people, like I said earlier, have a great weekend and stay tuned for these messages.
Proficient Protection Agency is based out of Alameda, California. If you have security service needs, Proficient Protection Agency can provide armed and unarmed security services. They service Northern California Bay Area, and you can find them at www.ppasecurity.com.
If you want to advertise your company on Survival Talk Radio, just send me an email to daniel@danielshrigley.com, and we can make arrangements to advertise you or your business on Survival Talk Radio.
Are you a fan of survival? Do you like all things survival? Full spectrum survival, urban survival, wilderness survival, how to escape and evade, lost or stranded, doomsday prepper, all things survival. You can find on www.danielshrigley.com. Come visit my official survival website at www.danielshrigley.com. danielshrigley.com and learn how to sustain, survive, and escape and achieve rescue or self-rescue.